The first strike. The night sky over Earth was clear, stars shining like silver dust. Then without warning, the stars began to move. Great burning lights cut across the sky, and within moments the world realized it was under attack. Cities lit up not with celebration, but with fire. Alien warships descended through the atmosphere, their hulls black and sharp like knives against the heavens. Buildings shook as beams of energy tore through steel and stone. Millions of people screamed as they ran for their lives. Governments scrambled to respond. Jets lifted into the air, missiles launched from silos. But nothing touched the alien ships. Their shields turned human weapons into sparks that fell harmlessly back to Earth. Commanders shouted orders, but panic spread faster than discipline. In the streets of New York, a child clung to her mother's hand as fire rained from above in Tokyo. Skyscrapers split in half as alien plasma carved through the skyline. In Paris, monuments of history crumbled like sand. Earth was falling before it even understood what had come. The aliens had chosen their time well, striking suddenly without warning. Their fleets moved like predators circling helpless prey. Their voices filled Earth's communication channels, cold and arrogant, calling humanity soft creatures of dirt and primitive animals. They declared Earth theirs by right of conquest. In orbit, the International Space Station witnessed the horror. Astronauts powerless as alien ships blotted out the planet's curve. One astronaut whispered into a recorder, "If anyone survives this, remember they came first. They brought this war." His voice cracked with both fear and fury. In Washington, generals and world leaders crowded into underground bunkers. Screens flickered with images of cities burning. No one had words to describe the devastation. One leader slammed a fist on the table, shouting, "We will not bow even if the world burns. Humanity will rise again." But even his voice shook. Meanwhile, on the alien flagship hovering above Earth, the invaders watched with satisfaction. Their commander, tall with silver skin and glowing eyes, raised his hand as his officers bowed. "See how weak they are," he said. "See how quickly they fall. Earth is nothing. Soon the galaxy will forget these dirt walkers ever existed." Laughter echoed across their command deck. But in the shadows of destruction, something stirred. In hidden bases deep under mountains, old projects long abandoned came alive. Secret bunkers opened as scientists and engineers scrambled to activate weapons never before tested. Unknown to the aliens, Earth had been preparing in silence back on the surface. Survivors pulled each other from rubble. Firefighters rushed into collapsing towers. Doctors treated wounded under broken streetlights. Even in their darkest hour, humans refused to surrender. Their eyes were filled not only with fear, but with something far more dangerous: anger. One young soldier, standing on the smoking ruins of his home, clenched his rifle with shaking hands, his voice a whisper drowned by fire. "You struck first, but this is not the end." He looked to the sky, where alien ships gleamed like cruel stars. "We will answer." The aliens did not know it yet, but with every building they destroyed, with every life they ended, they were not killing hope. They were forging it, turning fear into fire, turning grief into resolve. Reports spread fast across the world. Though communications were broken, people sent messages in any way they could. Short, desperate transmissions carried one truth to every ear: Earth is not finished. The words spread like sparks in dry grass. In a small underground base, a scientist looked at a screen showing Earth's orbit filled with enemy warships. She turned to her commander, her hands trembling. "It's time." The commander nodded slowly, his eyes tired but sharp. Yes, they wanted war. Then war they will have. The first strike was brutal. Merciless and swift, Earth bled under alien fire. But the story was not over. The aliens believed they had broken humanity, but they had only awakened something they did not understand. The sky was filled with flames. The ground was filled with cries, but within the ruins, humanity's heart began to beat louder, stronger. A silent vow formed across the planet, from every survivor, from every soldier, from every grieving family. They would remember. They would not forgive. They would rise, and when they rose, the galaxy itself would tremble. The ashes of Earth smoke covered the horizon for days. The sun itself looked dim behind the veil of destruction. Cities that once sang with life were now silent. Only the sound of crackling fires and distant cries remained. Humanity had been struck down, yet humanity was not gone. In the ruins of London, a boy searched for his father among the fallen stones. In the shattered streets of Rio, neighbors worked together, lifting beams of steel with bare hands to save trapped children in Delhi. People shared their last drops of water while alien patrols hovered above. Humanity's spirit refused to die. The aliens walked among the ruins like victors, their boots sinking into the ashes of homes, their laughter sharp, their voices filled with pride. "This world is broken," one alien officer said. "Its people are nothing but dust," but even as he spoke, he did not see the eyes watching from the shadows, eyes filled with rage in underground tunnels. Resistance groups formed. Men and women who had lost everything now had nothing left to fear. They whispered to each other in the dark, trading food, trading courage. They carved into the walls a single word. Revenge in orbit, alien commanders celebrated, their ships flashing with signals of triumph. They broadcast their victory across the galaxy, warning other species not to interfere. The Council of Distant Worlds listened in silence, some horrified, some amused. Many believed humanity's story had ended in fire, but deep under the Rocky Mountains, inside a secret facility known only to a few, great engines began to stir. Scientists who had been silent for decades now worked without pause. Screens lit up showing designs of ships unlike any the galaxy had seen. One young engineer wiped the soot from his face and whispered, "They think we are broken," his commander replied, voice steady as steel. "Then let them think it. Until the day we strike back." On the alien flagship, their leader sat on a throne of silver, his golden eyes staring down at the planet. "They will never rise again," he declared to his people. But his words carried arrogance, not truth, for the seeds of vengeance had already taken root in every ruined street. Humans carried each other in every fallen city, hands lifted rubble in every shadow. Plans were being written. Earth was bleeding, yes, but Earth was not dead. A farmer in Africa held a rusted rifle, promising his children that he would fight. A teacher in Europe gathered orphans in a shelter, teaching them not fear but strength. A soldier in Asia cleaned his weapon and whispered, "We will not forget." The galaxy, watching from afar, thought Earth had been silenced. But in the ashes, a storm was building, not a storm of surrender, but of fire. The aliens had struck first, and they believed it was the end. Yet in truth, it was only the beginning. And when the ashes cooled, when the smoke cleared, the world would rise again, not as prey, but as predators. Not as victims, but as vengeance itself. The aliens had no idea what was coming. Humanity's hidden arsenal beneath mountains, inside deserts, under the oceans. Humanity's secrets began to wake. These were not ordinary weapons. They were projects whispered about for decades, machines too dangerous to reveal, too costly to build in daylight. But in the ashes of Earth, they became the only hope. In a silent chamber below Norway, a massive door opened, steam hissing into the cold air. Behind it rested a warship unlike any seen before, its black hull carved with strange designs, its engines glowing with untamed energy. Scientists called it the Revenant, a ship built for one purpose only, revenge far away in Nevada. An old hangar shook as buried machines came to life. Rows of prototype fighters roared awake, their pilots young, untested, but their eyes burned with fire. One whispered as he touched the steel, "This will carry my father's name into the stars." In Tokyo's underground tunnels, engineers worked by candlelight, connecting wires, repairing systems, whispering old codes. Their leader said, "We are not only rebuilding weapons, we are rebuilding hope." Each machine they powered up felt like a heartbeat returning to Earth. The aliens watched Earth with arrogance, but their sensors detected strange signals. They dismissed them as noise. "The humans are broken," one commander sneered. "Their world burns. What can they possibly do?" Their ignorance was their blindness. In a hidden base in Antarctica, an old general stood before his people. His uniform scorched from the first strike. He pointed to the skies and said, "They think we are weak, they think we are finished, but they have not seen what we have kept in the dark." His soldiers shouted back with one voice. For Earth, whispers began to spread among survivors. Rumors of hidden weapons, of fleets no alien had ever seen. Some did not believe, but hope grew in every corner. Children drew pictures of ships striking back. Old men swore they would live long enough to see humanity rise. One scientist, her hands trembling with exhaustion, looked at the screen of a warship system turning green. "It works," she whispered, tears in her eyes. Her colleague placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then Earth is not dead, not yet." Meanwhile, the alien High Council gathered in distant stars. Some laughed at humanity's cries, some warned of danger, but the arrogant majority silenced them. "Earth will never rise," they declared. "It is only dust now." But they did not know the storm hidden in that dust. Across the underground networks, a signal spread. 3 words flashing on secret screens. We are ready. And though the skies above Earth still burned with alien fire, deep below humanity's hidden arsenal awakened. Piece by piece, ship by ship, weapon by weapon. The time of silence was ending. The time of vengeance was near. The galaxy thought Earth had fallen, but Earth was only sharpening its blade. The first counterattack, the night was silent above Earth. Alien fleets hovered like vultures, their lights glowing cold against the black sky. They believed the planet was broken, that its spirit was gone. But deep under the mountains, a voice whispered, "Launch," and history changed. From hidden silos, the first of humanity's secret ships rose black as the void, their engines silent until they broke through the clouds. To the aliens above, they looked like shadows tearing the sky apart. Their hulls glowed with strange energy never seen before. Alien commanders laughed when their radars blinked. "More human toys," one said. "Crush them." But when the first beam of human fire ripped through an alien cruiser, the laughter died. The enemy's shields, once thought unbreakable, shattered like glass on the ground. Survivors looked up and saw hope in the sky. Fiery trails streaked through the darkness as human fighters darted between alien giants. One pilot cried into his comm, "For my family," before plunging into battle, his shot tearing through the heart of an alien warship. Alien crews screamed as their vessels broke apart. The arrogant commanders realized too late that these were not the same humans they mocked. These were Deathworlders fighting with fury, with technology forged in desperation, with hearts burning for vengeance. In a single night, entire patrols vanished. Alien wreckage rained into oceans, burning across deserts, lighting forests with falling fire. The once invincible fleet felt fear for the first time. In orbit, the alien flagship trembled as alarms screamed. Their leader slammed his claws on the console. Impossible. These creatures were finished. But his words shook with doubt. His golden eyes stared at the growing human fleet. Rising like ghosts from Earth, the galaxy watched in shock. Distant worlds saw the broadcasts of alien ships exploding. Voices whispered in disbelief. Humans fight back. Humans strike the conquerors. Fear spread not through Earth this time, but through the stars. A young human captain, standing on the bridge of the Revenant, looked at the burning remains of alien vessels drifting in space. His voice calm but sharp. "This is the beginning," his crew cheered. "For Earth," their voices thundered across the comms. Echoing into the stars, the first counterattack was small, only a fraction of humanity's hidden strength, but it was enough to change everything, enough to prove Earth was not defeated, enough to make the galaxy tremble. The aliens had struck first. They believed humanity would never rise, but now, humanity had risen, not as prey, not as victims, but as predators of the void. And for the first time in the long history of the galaxy, the hunters knew fear. The wrath of Earth, the first counterattack, had been a spark, but now the fire spread from every hidden base, from every underground hangar. Earth unleashed its fury. Warships once buried in silence now filled the skies, their black steel gleaming under the light of burning alien wreckage. Alien commanders regrouped. Believing it a temporary resistance, they sent larger fleets, more ships than humanity had ever seen. But when their armadas entered Earth's orbit, they met not a broken planet but a storm of fire. Missiles screamed upward, railguns thundered, and human warships cut through the enemy like blades through paper. In Africa, soldiers gathered with old rifles and new weapons. Striking alien patrols in deserts in South America, guerrilla fighters ambushed supply carriers. In Europe and Asia, cities once in ruin became strongholds. Humans fought street by street, building by building, and with every fight, their resolve grew sharper. A captured alien officer spat words of arrogance. "You cannot win, you are fragile, you are only dirt walkers." But his voice trembled when he saw human eyes glaring back. Eyes that had lost everything yet promised revenge. The galaxy began to whisper a new name. Not prey, not victims, but Deathworlders. Stories spread of humans charging through fire, fighting even when wounded, refusing to surrender. One alien merchant said in fear, "They fight like they want to burn the stars themselves." On the alien flagship, commanders shouted in panic, their maps filling with red marks of lost fleets. Their leader slammed his clawed hand down. How can they rise from ashes? How can they turn ruin into strength? But no one had an answer. Human ships pushed outward now, not only defending Earth, but chasing the invaders back into the void. Every victory gave survivors more courage. Every fallen enemy ship became a beacon of hope. In the ruins of New York, Children looked up and cheered as alien cruisers fell burning from the sky. In the deserts of Egypt, an old man raised his fist as human fighters roared overhead. In hidden bases, engineers worked without rest, building faster, stronger, louder machines of vengeance. A young pilot, her face pale with exhaustion, whispered into her comm, "For my brother," as she led her squadron into an alien fleet. Her shot pierced their flagship. Flames erupted across the sky. Her name would be remembered across Earth. The wrath of Earth was no longer a secret. It was thunder, it was fire, it was a vow made real. The galaxy, once silent in arrogance, now trembled because they realized the truth. Earth was not only fighting back. Earth was winning, and with every alien ship destroyed, humanity's voice grew louder, echoing into the stars. "You struck first, but we will finish it." The galactic tremor news traveled faster than light. Every corner of the galaxy began to hear the same whisper. Earth was not broken, Earth was not weak, Earth was rising. Alien merchants closed their markets in fear. Old empires argued in council halls. Young species listened with wide eyes for the first time in centuries. The galaxy trembled at the mention of a single world. On the Grand Council floor, leaders of powerful empires debated. Their voices filled the chamber with panic. "The humans were supposed to fall," one shouted. "Their planet was supposed to burn," another hissed. But the reports on the table told a different truth. Charts glowed red with the destruction of alien fleets. Videos of burning warships played on every screen. In one clip, a human ship sliced through an entire enemy cruiser in a single strike. In another, captured alien soldiers knelt in defeat as human fighters stood over them. The council could no longer deny what they saw. A trembling ambassador whispered, "They are not prey, they are predators," another added with shaking hands. "They are death-worlders born from fire, forged in gravity and storms. What have we unleashed?" Some called for peace, begging to send envoys before humanity's anger spread beyond Earth. Others demanded more fleets, demanding the humans be destroyed before their vengeance grew stronger. The council chamber shook with arguments, but beneath every word was fear. Back on Earth, hidden bases launched more ships. Fleets larger than the galaxy thought possible. Weapons that had been dreams now roared into reality. Humanity's message was broadcast across the stars. Simple and sharp: "You struck Earth first. Now the galaxy will remember our answer." On distant worlds, ordinary aliens huddled in silence, afraid. Stories of human revenge spread like shadowed legends. Mothers warned their children, "Do not speak of Earth. Do not anger the humans." In the alien homeworlds that once laughed at humanity, silence fell, because they now knew that the storm was not only on Earth, it was coming for them. The galaxy trembled, not from earthquakes, not from storms, but from the sound of a single species rising, and deep within the stars humanity prepared for the final strike. The revenge complete, the galaxy held its breath. Fleets gathered on the borders of alien empires. Every eye turned to the humans. Every world waited for their decision. Would they forgive or would they burn the stars? The human fleets moved like shadows, thousands of ships gliding through the void, each one carrying the memory of a fallen city, each one carrying the fire of vengeance. Commanders spoke little. Their orders were sharp, clear, merciless. On the alien homeworld of the first invaders, the sky darkened not with storms but with human warships. They appeared above the capital like a wall of steel, covering the sun. Their engines hummed with a sound that made even the bravest warriors fall silent. The alien leader stood in his throne room, his golden eyes wide with fear. For the first time he had mocked Earth, called humans dust. But now dust had become fire, unstoppable and burning. The first shot was not small, it was a roar. A storm of light that split through alien defenses like paper. Towers crumbled, fleets shattered. Their proud armies screamed as the sky itself turned red. Humanity's wrath had arrived on the bridge of the Revenant. The young human captain gave no speech of mercy. His words were sharp as blades. "This is for Earth," and with his command, the planet shook under the fire of human vengeance. Alien worlds that once laughed now watched in horror. Empires that once ignored Earth now trembled. The message was clear, written in fire across the stars: strike Earth once, and you will never strike again. The war ended not with treaties, not with compromise, but with silence. The silence of a broken empire. The silence of galaxies too afraid to challenge the Death Worlders. On Earth, survivors stood among rebuilt ruins. Children looked to the sky not with fear but with pride, for their world had risen from ashes and carved its name into the stars. The galaxy would never forget. Earth was no longer weak, Earth was no longer prey. Earth had become the storm that made the stars tremble. And from that day on, one truth echoed through every corner of the cosmos. Do not strike Earth or you will face humanity's revenge.